Anyway, so today we're going to divide fractions. Do you remember how to divide fractions? You leave the first one, flip it, take the reciprocal of the second, and then instead of divide, it's multiply. So keep, change, change. Is that what you meant? Instead of dividing, it's multiply. Instead of 7/5, you flip it and make it 5/7. Now from there, you can either multiply it straight across, top times top, bottom times bottom, if you would like. I don't know what that comes out to be. 70 maybe? Over 105. And then you can reduce that, right? What can you divide by? 5 for sure. Oh boy, 14 and 21. Is that simplified?
7.
Well, 7. Divide both by 7. And you get 14 divided by 7 is 2. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So 2/3. If you didn't want to do it that way, multiply it and then reduce it, way back here, you could cross cancel. Divide by 7, divide by 7. 7 goes in there once. 7 goes in there twice. We're taking out a common factor of 7. Divide by 7, divide by 7. Same thing here. 5 goes in there once. 5 goes in there. So divided by 5, divided by 5. And I think that's it. If you do 2 times 1, 2. 3 times 1, you get 3. So it's the same steps, you just change the order. If you want to reduce it first and then multiply, or if you want to multiply first and get 70 over 105 and then reduce. But that's today's lesson. We're done.
Oh.
JK. LOL. 6xy over a squared. Divided by, now we have some letters in there. 3y over a to the third x. A to the third, not 8. And again, if it is dividing, you leave the first thing alone. And what do? Take the reciprocal, a to the third x, 3y, instead of divide, multiply. So anything, top and bottom, you can cancel. Doesn't matter if they're or this way. I have a y on top and a y on bottom. You can cancel it. I have a 6 and a 3. 3 goes in there. 3 goes in there. What else? The a's. 2 of them. 3 of them. So these 2 would cancel with 2 of those. Anything else? So be careful. I have a 2x, a x. On the bottom, I don't have anything, right? What do I end up with on top then? A x squared. And that would be your final answer. You've done that before, yes? That's not too bad. Do you have questions on that one? Do you have questions on that one? How about something like this? Oh, look at this one. This is exciting. Six p squared q over 1. No, over r. divided by 3pq squared over r times 2q squared. Oh, look at that. Over PR. Now what? Now what? Now what? Well, if we just did these two, you'd know what to do with that, right? Leave the first one, 6p squared qr. And what do I do with the second one? It's divide, so I'm going to flip it and multiply instead. So r on top, 3pqr squared. This one is times. What do you do when it's times? Nothing, you just leave it alone, right? So you only flip the ones that are divided by. If it's times by something, multiplied by something, just leave it alone. Like that. Just leave it alone. Now you know what we did over here with canceling? We had 3 of them. Doesn't matter, you can cancel as long as one's on top, one's on bottom. As long as one's on top, one's on bottom. It doesn't matter how far away they are. If it's all times, you can cancel as long as one's on and one's on bottom. So what can we cancel? Well, right off the bat, see this q squared? Bottom and top?
The 6 and 3.
The 6 and 3, 3 goes in there once, twice,
Cancel R's.
here, and here, or you could have done that one too. Which P? Right, good. I have one P here on the bottom and another P here on the bottom. Isn't that P squared?
Yep.
And I have a P squared right here. That goes away with both of those. Anything else? Now, when you're going to write your answer, a lot of times people miss stuff. What do you have? 2 times 2 is 4Q. I think that's all I have. On the bottom, just this one right there. So your simplified would be 4Q over R. Not too bad, right? Not too bad, right? Questions so far? I saved the best for last. A squared minus 4ab plus 3b squared. Minus 4ab plus 3b squared. Over. Oh, I can feel the anticipation. A plus 2b. Over. It's a complex fraction. A squared minus ab. Now let's make sure I copied it right or we're going to have big troubles. A squared minus 4ab plus 3b squared. A plus 2b. A squared minus ab minus 6b squared. What does this line mean?
Divide.
Divided by, right? So would you agree it's this stuff up here, it's a squared minus 4ab plus, it's that thing divided by this one. Agree so far? Would you agree with that? So the first thing I would do is get rid of that complex fraction and write it as the top thing divided by the bottom thing. You already know how to divide fractions. You leave the first thing alone, take the reciprocal of the second, and multiply. You leave, are you ready? You leave the first thing alone. See that? I left the first thing alone. And I multiply, instead of divide, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of this. Brooklyn, how can I take the reciprocal? There's nothing under there.
Put it on the bottom. And it's over on.
Because it's a 1, right. So you put a 1 under there and just flip it then. So now I'm going to have 1 on top, a squared minus ab, like that. Now what? Now you can cancel stuff, but could I remind you that, remember the other day when we did like x squared minus 2 over x squared? You're not allowed to cancel those two if it's a minus or a plus. So I always see people, they want to cancel these, but it's minus, you can't cancel those. So what do you have to do first before you can cancel? Factor. Yes, you have to factor. You have to, you must. How about this one over here? I have plenty of room. That has to be A and A. 1 and 6 are 2 and 3. And it's got to subtract to this 1 right there. Should I use 1 and 6 or 2 and 3?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. So 2b, 3b, signs,
Plus 2b minus
plus
3.
2b minus 3. Same thing over here, I have to factor. This one is A and A. This has to be 3b and 1b, doesn't it?
Doesn't
Signs,
negative, negative.
negative, negative. If you don't mind, do you mind if I do top times top? This stuff times 1. Times 1. On bottom, I have this thing times this stuff. I'm not really going to multiply it out. I'm just going to write a plus 2b. That's that one. Here's another a plus 2b. And here's an a minus 3b. What can I do? I at least have an a minus 3b. I can cancel all of this stuff. I don't think there's anything else, right? So on top, I have an a minus b. On bottom, I have a plus 2b squared, or another a plus 2b. However you want to write it. Either one of those is fine. So that's not too bad, right? It's a lot of canceling. It's a lot of canceling. These, you flip the ones you need to flip and then cancel what you can. Over there, write it as a regular old fraction divided by another fraction instead of this complex business. And then once you flip and multiply, factor those things that you can factor. And once it's factored, then you'll be able to cancel some stuff. So it's very similar to what we were doing a couple of days ago. You know, the factor cancel business. It's more similar, more of the similar, same. Factor it and then cancel it. Factor and then cancel. You know, Factor and cancel. It's factor and cancel. Well, these aren't too bad, are they? Are they?
No.
Okay, then we'll do this. Anybody with questions first? We'll go page 2, 3, 4. WE 1 to 16 and 20. Those first few are going to go really fast. Plus, besides the fact that you have half an hour, you'll be fine. 1 to 16 and 20. A whole half an hour, I think.